Students, after introducing you to the State Directorate, now let's take up about the organizational setup of the State Directorate. The offices of the executive departments are located outside the State Secretariat complexes, and these are distinct organizational entities. The number and size of executive department and depend upon the size of the state and the subject administered by the department. The big states having large population have large number of departments and also of bigger sized one. The head of the department, depending upon the size and other condition, is variously known as director or joint director or deputy director or the mission head. The director may also be assisted by the additional directors depending upon the volumes of responsibilities. As stated, that the number of department and the size of the department depends upon the area and the population of the state. It may not be always true. No doubt, if the state is big, the size of the department will be big, but the number of department may not be related to or correlated to the size of the state. Even the smaller states are having a large number of departments, whereas a relatively bigger state is having the smaller number of directorate or we say executive departments in its state administration. The directorate is expected to be functional at state level alone, like the secretariat system, but also operates at regional, district and sub-district level. The regional directorates have been established in between state and district levels to coordinate the policies and programs of the districts by providing a link between these administrative levels and to resolve the conflicts among the district level officials. The directorate is entrusted with the responsibility to undertake necessary efforts to establish necessary coordination and supervision of execution of policies and programs at all levels of administration. For example, the Directorate of Municipal Body is headed by the director, who is usually an IAS officer. The state government can also appoint additional director and other officials to assist him. Among the other officials includes such as accountant to look after financial system, legal officer, deputy director, assistant directors and executive officers, etc. Now let's take up the another aspect of the State Directorate, and that is the organization of the state administration and its place and the place of State Directorate in the state administration. As we discussed earlier in earlier talks also, the state government is assisted by a senior most officer. We call him or her the Chief Secretary of the state. Chief Secretary is the administrative head or the permanent head of the State Secretariat. The State Secretariat, which is a policy formulating body and advising the polity of state in framing the legislation, also assisted by the directorate or the directors, or we call it the executive departments or the State Directorate. Below the State Directorates, there are divisional commissioners. The divisional commissioners are in real sense the head of 3 or 4 districts of the states. In another way, we can say that a bunch of 3 or 4 districts, no doubt each district is headed by the deputy commissioner, but to supervise or to guide the deputy commissioner, particularly in a particular area of the state, 3 or 4 districts coordinate their efforts to run the administration or to execute the policy in an effective manner, and the officer who is heading this division is known as the divisional commissioner. We also call it the regional level of administration or bunch of districts. At the subordinate level, as stated earlier, we have the district administration, and in the district administration the district collector or the deputy commissioner or we say district magistrate in some of the states, he is heading the districts. The district administration is further divided into the subdivisional offices. Subdivisional office is again headed by the subdivisional officer, and the district may be comprising of many tahsil. Here I would like to point out that it may not be necessary that there may be many tahsil within the subdivision. Subdivision may be having only one tahsil, and moreover the subdivision is relating to the general administration. It is a subordinate agency of the district administration, but the Tahsildar is responsible for the revenue administration or the administration relating to the land management of that particular state, in that particular area, that is the Tahsil. So, he is the Tahsildar, or the Tahsil is relating to the revenue administration, not with the general administration. The Tahsildar is assisted by the Naib Tahsildar. Naib Tahsildar is normally in charge of a sub-Tahsil level. Naib Tahsildar is normally heading the sub-Tahsil. Tahsil may be divided into the sub-Tahsil, or it may not be divided into sub-Tahsil. It depends upon the administrative decisions of the state government concerns. Naib Tahsildar is further assisted by the Kanungo, that is the division of sub-Tahsil area, and that is no doubt that is relating to the land management. That officer is responsible for the land management, and he further assisted by the Patwari at the village level. There may be one Patwari at one village level, or if the small villages are there, or the area of the village is small, then it is the bunch of villages which are looked after by a single Patwari. So, this kind of the system, particularly the traditional system where we consider the general administration as well as the revenue administration, and in that case this kind of the system that comprising of that administrative system comprising of the state directorate, because all these agencies from the level of the village up to the state directorate, those are responsible for implementing the policies framed by the or formulated by the state secretariat in consultation with the political setup of the state concerned. Now again, after discussing the hierarchical order of the state administration in general and the state directorate in particular, it is essential to discuss why the state directorate is required. In brief, we can say there are certain reasons why we have established the state directorate or why it is required by the state administration. The reasons are: number one, the state directorates and its subordinate offices or the field offices are required to have an easy access to the people or the citizen of the states to avail the different kind of the services, because the Secretariat is a distantly placed administrative organization. It is located in the capital city of the state. Therefore, the field agencies and the state directorate, those can be approached for getting the things done. Therefore, these agencies that the state directorate are established to have an easy access for the people of the state, and that services of the state or administration can be delivered in an efficient and an effective way. Second reason is that there is a growing tendency of specialization in the administration in view of increased complexity and role of technology in administration. Most of officials working in directorates are specialists. They performed technical functions, which is lacking in case of the state secretariat. There is a need for policy formulation from policy execution, and it has been universally accepted. It has been universally accepted nowadays. The reason being, if we do not separate the process of policy formulation and policy implementation, normally the agency which is formulating the policies, that tends towards the centralization of the powers and authority. And in such a situation, when the centralization is there, then it cannot deliver the services to the concerned in an efficient and effective manner. That will lead to delay, that will lead to corruption, and that will not be able to fulfill the objectives of the administration or objective of the organization for which that department or organization has been established. The technical nature of certain functions demand distinct organizational entity that can best perform these functions. For example, education, health, finance are functions which cannot be performed from the Secretariat level alone. Take for example, health. It is a distinct kind of the functions. We require doctors, not a generalist officer. The doctors have the special kind of the skills to perform those functions. Similarly, in education as well as in finance. So, these are important reasons why we need the State Directorate. Concluding, I can say that the State Secretariat may not be sufficient to connect the state administration with the people of the state. Secondly, State Secretariat may not be able to provide the specialist kind of advice to the administration to achieve the goals or objectives of the state administration. Third, the technical nature of the function is again a very important one, and all these regions have been responsible in establishing, or we can say that has no doubt compelled the state to establish the directorate or executive agencies or the executive department or the directorate kind of the organization at the state level, no doubt with the field offices at different level of administration. Let us take up the functions of the State Directorate. Like the regions about the growth of the Secretariat system, let us take up function of the State Directorate under certain points. Number one, it prepares the budget of the department. It proposes the departmental activities at the beginning of the financial year. As you know, that each department performs certain activities, and the activities requires financial resources and the human resources, again which are paid. In such a circumstances, we can say the field agencies which are executing the programs or performing the activities or delivering the services, they need the money. How much money they need it? That depends, or that is estimated, or that is proposed by the implementing agencies at the field level. The department at the State Directorate level that asks for the expenditure likely to be incurred in the financial year, and that has to be consolidated at one place, and it is communicated to the State Secretariat by the State Directorate, and that is why the financial or the budget preparation is initiated by the department at the State Directorate level. Number two, the State Directorate organizes the training programs for the department officials for learning the techniques of work of administration. In other words, we can say that all kinds of officials working on different hierarchical level, having different kind of knowledge and skill to perform their responsibilities or the duties, they have to be trained. Not only that one, as you know, that with the change in time, there is a different, that the employees of the government, they require different kind of the skills. And how to provide that kind of the skills to the employees or the officials of the government, that becomes an important one. And what kind of the training, that is again identified, and organized by the department, and therefore this is the function or the responsibility of the State Directorate. Number 3, the State Directorate provides technical advice to minister. Means the minister is advised, no doubt, through the State Secretariat. It cannot be direct. But the implementing agencies, executive agencies, or we call it the State Directorate, they have first-hand information about the programs which are being implemented, and in such a circumstances, the information required by the minister either to take a policy decision or to answer the question which is asked from him in the state legislature, because minister is accountable to the representative of the people which are there in the state legislature. Not only that one, what happens? The officials working at the State Directorate level and the district levels or the field level, they can tell the minister what kind of the program or what kind of the welfare programs or the development programs or the delivery of services is urgently required by the people, urgently required by the citizen, so that the minister can take such decisions or can help can guide, take an initiative to start a new welfare programs which may help the minister to retain his seat, or which may help the political party of the government to retain power in the state. That's an important one. Many times there are so many examples when the officials or the officers of the state administration, they advised the minister to take a program for implementation, and which has become a very popular one. And as a result of that, people voted that person or that political party in power. Take for example, the old age pension scheme that has started. No doubt it was initiated by the government of India, but it was popularized in Haryana by a political leader. This is again a very important, this is being provided by the officers of the state administration and who have worked at the field level or in the State Directorate, having the experience of the State Directorate. Number 4, the supervision and inspections of the execution of work is best undertaken by the officials at the directorate level. Again, since they are experienced in it, that's why they can do it more effective manner. Number 5, the directorate also perform the functions relating to personnel administration, making appointments, postings, confirmations, transfers, and promotions of subordinate officials within prescribed limit and rules. Number 6, it carries out research and experiment in departmental work in order to promote efficiency in administration. Based on their experience, they can undertake this kind of work. No doubt they may also involve some of the research institutions or the study group for this purpose. Number 7, this level of administration also contributes in improving the required capacity of the officials by exposing them to outside world and the knowledge in their concerned field by providing opportunity for attending workshops, conferences, etc. Again, this kind of the work that exposes or that enriches the knowledge of the officials. Naturally, the officials, after experiencing the outside world, that helps them in having certain ideas or in incorporating certain innovative measures in the performance of their duties and responsibility. Number 8, the Directorate departments also tender advice to the Public Service Commission. At the state level, it is the State Public Service Commission as well as to the Union Public Service Commission, which is required, that advice is required for making promotions of the officials by the respective agencies. In case of subordinate, it is the State Public Service Commission, and if from the state civil services to be promoted into the All India or central services to the All India services, in that case the advice is tendered to the Union Public Service Commission. So, these are the important functions of the State Directorate which are performed by it. As you know that how effectively the Directorate department is performing it, that determines the performance level of the state administration or the state government in general. Thank you very much. On this topic, we will have one more talk on the State Directorate and State Secretariat relationship under this theme. Thank you very much.